Welcome. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're now also here. Howdy, partner. Good to have you back. We'll get into things in just a moment, but first, let's go over the cast. So, going through our main players, our usual suspects here, starting with Epitome. Oh, hold on a second. It looks like the desktop audio isn't quite coming through. Let me see if I can fix that. Can you speak again? This is unusual. Okay. Can you give me another test? Huh. Can anyone confirm if in stream y'all can hear? Because it's not lighting up on my audio mixer at all. Well, consarn it. Let's see if we can figure out what's happening here now. Alright, well, let me see if I can figure this out real quick. Hopefully. Alright. Can I get someone to... Anyone?
I'm on top.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alright.
Can hear him.
Alright, so... Sorry about that. These darn consarned gremlins keep getting into my computer. That's definitely what's going on, and it's not just that I am remarkably computer illiterate for someone who makes her entire livelihood and life on the computer. Anywho, let's go over our stars of the cast today, starting off with Epitome.
Hi, I'm Epitome. Kinda late to get your flu shot, so I'm not gonna bug you anymore about it. I play Ezra King, the hamster of a man. I don't stream, so I don't really have anything to plug right here. Yeah.
Really going with that one, huh? Like
What?
we've gone from lab rat to guinea pig to hamster. It's like we're just going through progressively smaller and more pathetic.
He had always advertised being a hamster. It was Xenobia just started calling him a guinea pig.
It's true. I did describe him as if a hamster was a human.
Hey, someday, stick to it, bud. Someday you'll be lab rat worthy. Alrighty. And next up, we have Hemlock.
I am Hemlock. I am a model maker and a bad video gamer, and I play Parrot, who I have accidentally just metagamed straight into gun and only gun.
Well, we'll see.
Class? Gun.
Good. Yuck, yuck.
Level? Gun.
Look.
Specialization?
Gun.
Surprisingly, gun.
Yeah. Well, regardless of that, on a side note, if you are looking for someone to be a model parent, or for just artwork in general, definitely hire Hemlock. Very high quality work.
Can confirm.
Oh, please give me money. I just paid my state taxes.
I'll try my best, Boo. I'll try my best. Actually, I will. I'll hit you up after stream. We don't have to do all of my dirty laundry live.
No, right now.
Oh no, fine. And last but not least, rounding out our intrepid gang of cowpokes, we have Obsidia.
Hey everyone, I'm Obsidia. I am taking the month of March off of streaming. I will be back on March 31st for Trans Day of Visibility, and that's going to be my rescheduled 3-year streamiversary and charity fundraiser for Trans Lifeline. So more information as we get closer.
Hmm.
We're glad to have you here.
Always happy to be here.
And the astute audience amongst y'all may have noticed that there is a extra person here that we have not normally seen before. Your eyes do not deceive you. This is no mirage in the desert. No, we do actually have a guest player. Like I said, we were looking around for potential additional players since we lost a couple tragically. I don't think the mic caught that, but I could hear from the other room Epitome say sometimes I can still hear them.
I've been trying to be good this time and muting when I'm chewing.
I appreciate that.
I'm also trying my best to minimize mouth noises. We'll see how successful I am. Probably not very.
You don't have something crunchy though.
That's true.
I do.
But yes, we're going to be trial running some people through, seeing if they are a good fit for the group, and fingers crossed, if things work out, we may have some additional cowpokes joining the posse. So, additional cowpoke, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello. People who've seen me in the chat will know me as TirusR. I am playing who I love to refer to as the Red Fatale, Mary Stonecroft. Points anyone actually gets that reference. If not, don't worry. She is a dancer with a tragic backstory investigating the death of her would-be fiancé, and maybe a few other mysteries.
That's some surprise tools that will help us later. Well, at least help me later. We'll see.
And
Those in
see,
the
I
gaming
hit my
industry-
husband's head.
That's true. You have so
Those
much
in the
in
industry
common
refer to these
already.
as surprise mechanics.
All right. So, to quickly recap from what happened previously on Deadlands, Wayward Guns. The posse rolled into town, taken the train from Chicago down to St. Louis, Missouri, and on the way ended up meeting a couple of interesting people. Upon finally arriving, the bustling city of transit and trade, they settled into a boarding house and, after asking around, found their contact, local heiress and housebound occultist Antoinette Swan. She informed them that just that very morning there were several murders that had taken place, a husband and wife seemingly slain, with the only surviving member of the family, their daughter, the prime suspect. However, she found it odd that she seems to have been the only person to have received an early edition of the St. Louis Inquirer, one that was published a full 2 hours before the standard daily paper, and barely any time at all after the crime itself took place. Sensing something unusual afoot, she requested they look into it. And arriving at the scene of the crime, our heroes found a panoply of rubberneckers and reporters and all manner of curious folk being held at bay by the sheriff's department. She wasn't able to give them much to go on, other than one word of advice. Should they be accosted by a no-good mudraker by the name of Reese Phillips, they should in no way, shape, or form get themselves involved with him. Anywho, the posse split up at the scene of the crime, and went over to a neighboring home down the way to see if they could make some sort of distraction, only to find there was a young man couched inside who was trying to take long distance pictures of the home. He seemed to claim some form of partial blame, or at least that he owes her to clear her name. But before he could be questioned further, the rest of the posse arrived and threw him out the. No, sorry, they did not throw him out the window, despite
I did not.
the posse's belief otherwise. No, their arrival simply spooked him away, causing him to jump out of the window and flee into the nearby woods. The posse managed to use this distraction, however, to sneak inside and started surveying the scene. Ezra covertly tampered with the crime to make a too juicy to skip extra detail for the reporters to be drawn to and distract the guard with holding them off. And our very own blood magician, Miss Xenobia Whatley, used some of her blood magic to ask the corpse of the late wife a few questions. When they finished, however, they were caught touching the corpse by the guard from the sheriff's office, only to have the intercession of a mysterious benefactor step in with some seemingly very convincing paperwork citing them as municipal hospital workers there to collect the corpses, saving them from reproach. The episode ended as their mysterious benefactor introduced himself as Reese Phillips. So, with all of that taken care of and out of the way, one last thing before we get started, we have to give you some fate chips. So, for longtime viewers, you'll know that fate chips are incredibly important. They are the means by which players most often will find themselves cheating death, or at the very least, making it so they don't fall flat on their face and humiliate themselves. So 3 chips have been dealt to all of y'all. If you have more than 10, make sure you cash out some of those.
Ooh. Preparing myself.
All right.
Got the legend chip.
Oh, man.
Mm-hmm.
Juicy. Alrighty then. Alright, Parrot. So, jumping right back into where we were, the police officer guarding the scene of the crime looks over the paper with an incredulous expression on his face, but begrudgingly hands it back to Phillips, saying, "All right. Well, be quick about it, whatever you're doing here, and just give these carrion feeders less of an excuse to be hanging around here all day." Of course, sir. No need to worry. My associates will be just stepping out for a briefest moment to get their equipment out of their wagon. Isn't that right?
Oh, it seems as if there was a bit of misunderstanding, so yes, we will be departing, momentarily. If you wouldn't mind, Constable?
All right. And he clears the way of any human debris of the looky-loos, the curious bystanders, the reporters, and all that.
There's at least one popcorn bag.
It's incredible. There's not many places you can get that in bag form. In the late 19th century, they would have had to take it all the way from the St. Louis Brown Stockings Stadium here.
Mad science has made real strides as of late.
With popcorn science.
It's true. All right, so now that you are outside, you see there is, in fact, trundling down the road, a bedraggled city hospital wagon And Phillips turns to you and says, "Well, it seems now that your cover is about to be blown. Perhaps it best that we speak in a more private situation, shall we?"
Indeed, quite. I never found myself particularly enjoying cavorting with medical paraphernalia.
"I see," he says, eyeing your scalpel, your your scalpel sheath.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! It's way bigger than a scalpel.
Oh, I mean, this is 19th century. Scalpels were pretty fucked up.
All right, sure.
For those of you playing at home, I have a Totoro update. He
Totoros
is
are a
meowing.
cat for anyone who's new here.
Totoro is meowing sadly as he pulls around his Christmas pickle toy. Okay, continue.
What a depressing affair.
As long as we're giving pet updates,
Mm-hmm.
Bruce is staring at me longingly, trying to get me to throw the toy that's like
Aw.
4 feet from me.
Oh,
You can just get up. It's okay. I'll wait.
He also knows he can just bring it to me.
But where would the fun in that be?
Then I would throw it again.
Oh yeah, that would be fun. All right. So, as you are having this conversation, the camera cuts to a separate figure, sort of mingling into the crowd at large out here, which, although reduced in size somewhat, is still fairly busy and bustling, giving you plenty of cover. You briefly see the camera as this mysterious figure is reading the paper, and it lingers for a few moments on the reported circumstances of it. How, perhaps in exaggerated language, the eyewitness of the daughter claimed that her father seemed at once possessed, of exhibiting such anger and madness that it was like someone had taken control of them. And they lower the paper and see the group just coming out. Jumping back to that group.
where did you have in mind?
Well, we could always go to the woods if that's comfortable. Otherwise, I'm never one to refuse a cup of tea now and then.
I mean, there is. He grips the bowling ball bag in his hand a bit tighter. And looks at Xenobia since she seems to be more of the leader of this operation.
Xenobia
You-
has been designated group service social face.
Which is ironic because I have basically no charisma skills.
She's
Hmm.
also the only other person there. I am.
Oh
in the
yeah,
woods.
because you're in the woods pursuing our art boy, our photographer boy. Well,
Just a
sorry.
heads up, our internet hiccuped. It looks like we're back.
Oh, yeah, I didn't drop.
Oh, I did.
All right. Well, I'm sure that you wish to enjoy something suitably civilized, but as trust is often extended based on lengths and arms, I feel like perhaps we should get a bit arborous in our little get-together.
Why, certainly. Oh, well, there was a friend of yours, wasn't there, earlier? I imagine you would want to collect them as well.
Whether my circle of associates happens to include anyone relevant Well, that can be decided after we perhaps discuss things a bit more in depth.
Very well, lead the way.
I don't know this motherfucker, and we literally got told not to ever involve ourselves with it.
Yeah, but then y'all weren't the most stealthy, so things got a little complicated. But hey, you're not in trouble with the police at the moment.
Fuck the police. No justice, no peace. All right. Yeah. So
So you're
we're
heading
leading-
towards the woods,
Yep.
roughly the same direction you saw a parrot heading off.
Yep.
All right. So jumping back to Parrot now. So Parrot, you had hopped out after our mysterious photographer boy, and you were trying to pursue him through the woods. Yes,
Yes. Trying is the operative word.
of course. Give me a tracking roll.
I would love to.
And remember, you can spend chips to improve the odds here.
That is maybe the plan.
All right. So that is a 6.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
With
You
my cognition where it is.
yeah. Well, with the 6, since it's not like the most forgiving ground for picking up tracks, but you're also following someone very closely on their tail, so it's not too bad at least. I would say that as you are going through here, let me make a quick roll for a mystery guy.
Come on, child, roll bad.
He's
Yes,
managing
fail child.
you managed to close the ground a fair bit here, and you have him within sight, but it might require a little more here. Like at this rate, he could probably keep pace long enough to outrun you. Is there another tactic you'd like to try? You're probably maybe let's say 5 yards, so 15 feet between you and him in this moment. There's trees that you've got to wind in and out around. There's all manner of potential foot hazards.
Uh.
What do your
Sure-
circus senses tell you?
Sure wish I could yell.
I mean, you do have an alternative for yelling.
A gun?
I I meant the magical alternative.
Oh.
You do still have that one.
Maybe it
Yeah.
will persuade him to stop if you fire a gun in the air and yell for him to fucking stop.
I mean, that could also potentially work.
Okay.
You have
okay,
options.
I'll try to cast Whisper.
All right.
I love how you first went to gun.
Oh, I mean, it's fair. It's fair for those of you who are newer to the series. Parrot, due to some physically and mentally, emotionally traumatic experiences as a youth, or at least a youthier youth, has damaged the voice box, which has rendered them barely able to talk above a whisper generally. All right.
Is that true? I don't think that's ever come up before.
Yes.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, canonically, Parrot has never yelled. I
Raising your
imagine,
voice above a quiet tone is difficult.
yeah, like I imagine for if you didn't actively notice it, it's probably a case of just like, oh, well, I always thought you were just very even-tempered. You never needed to raise your voice.
Yeah,
Honestly,
you will
yeah.
have to you have to roll to see if you hear me in loud situations.
That is true. All right. So for that, do you? Oh, well, actually, here we
don't
have
know.
our hex deck here. Let's deal you a card. Draw one card to pair it. Is it red?
No.
Darn. Would you want to try again?
Yes.
Fair enough.
Would this just be another attempt or for a chip?
We can do for a white chip.
Okay. Take it.
Alrighty. I'll take my ill-gotten gains. Alright, come on, come on, come on, red, come on, red.
Okay.
Yeah, alright.
Whew.
Alright, so, with a red card, you are able to successfully cast Whisper. It's up to 5 seconds, so just a little short of a vine. Or,
Okay.
no, TikToks are pretty open-ended, I think.
Yeah, a vine is 7 seconds. Oh god.
Was rip.
What was the girl's name?
The daughter?
Yeah.
That was Caroline.
Okay. So Parrot just keeps chasing this guy and casts Whisper and tries very hard and just says, "Stop running, I'm trying to help Caroline, please just stop running, I'm trying to help her too."
Ooh, alright. Alright, alright. I like this. Alright, let's see.
I pulled a stopwatch out.
I give me a persuasion roll +3.
Okay.
Alright,
12.
excellent. So with a 12, you see as you cast this whispered message forward into his ears, you see a brief moment of, oh, what was that? Like he falters in his running. He looks around. That someone. It sounded way too close to be this person who's like 15 feet away from him. And then a half second later, he registers what was said, and I think that's when he slows down enough to come to a stop and, still wary of you, turns around. You can see that he's pretty young. He can't be older than maybe 14 at the oldest. The sort that's like technically out of school, base school, but not really in like an advanced school situation. A higher school, if you will.
Okay.
He's a
Parrot's
baby.
going to stop like maybe like 10 feet away from him, just like give him space, not scare him even worse.
All right.
And take a second to catch her breath.
Fair.
And me and my friends are trying to find out what exactly actually happened, not not what the police think happened.
Okay. Well, I don't really know what you're. I don't really know how you did that, but I
I've
feel
got a
like
funny voice.
I guess so. One of them ventriloquists. Oh, well, I mean, if you think that I can help her somehow through you, sure. I'll tell you what I can at least.
Thank you. Are you okay with coming back with me and my friends?
I I I reckon. I reckon I can, yeah.
Thank you. We're not gonna let anything happen to you.
All right. Well, I'm Curtis. Curtis Deese.
Why would you do this to me, B?
I'll genuinely be 100% real with you right here. I had, as I was searching for that name, briefly been living in a beautiful world where these nuts jokes had not been discovered.
You made this name up 45 years ago. Um, uh, you can call me Parrot.
Okay.
Just gonna turn around and go back the way I came.
All right. You can hear a little hesitance, but he does follow along. You don't believe she did it neither, huh?
I don't know what to believe. I know that whatever happened in that fucking house was a lot weirder than we think. I don't want to believe a little girl could hurt her parents.
I don't think it was her neither. I'm I'm just worried what I got her into. Okay. From there we can cut back. Well, I reckon that this is probably far enough away from any prying ears. Would this be an amenable spot for our little powwow, or were you hoping that we'd go further in? Hmm?
I believe this is a suitably clandestine location.
Very well. Well, let me again properly introduce myself. My name is Reese Phillips. I'm a paperman, you see, by the trade, anywho. I'm a firm believer in the truth should always be known. And I can't help but feel like there's perhaps a little more to this case than the open and shut patricide and matricide that the cops seem to be peddling. And I have a funny little feeling that you might be likewise inclined, or at the very least have some interesting tidbits of truths yourself in that regard.
Well, we certainly are invested in the fate of this little girl, and seeing her most likely be cleared of whatever disasters befell her family. Of course, I'm no stranger to family disputes, but I feel like such gruesome acts are rarely invoked by someone who is simply having difficulties at home.
I see. I had no idea you were such a colorful character, Ms.
Xenobia Whatley, pleasure.
Xenobia Whatley. Absolutely charmed.
I'm sure you are.
Well, if I may be so bold as to perhaps offer an exchange of information, I'm I'm afraid I'm guilty as charged if the crime is being quite good at overhearing things I ought not to. I believe I may have heard some additional useful tidbits when the law enforcement officers that were so curtly eschewing us. I may have heard something rather interesting if you don't mind trading me a question for a question's answer.
Oh, a little quid pro quo. Ambitious, are we?
Well, I am in the information trading business, after all.
All right. Well, then, as I am not absolutely privy to what you know or do not know, then perhaps you could at least start then with what you were elucidated with by this constable of the law.
Oh, come now, my dear Miss Whatley. You should know better than any that in a matter of negotiation, I should at the very least have someone's word on it.
Oh, I didn't realize we were engaging in verbal contracts. I assumed that you would engaged in your muckrakery amongst the mud and, well, muck.
Well, even a muckraker needs to have certain standards to hold oneself to. Otherwise, it becomes far too easy to just indulge in all of uh, basest little evils.
Oh, and you're concerned that I may be a based little evil willing to use you to my own devices?
I mean,
Yes.
Xenobia.
In all fairness, yes, but I do realize I am a pot calling the kettle black.
Fine. If it would assuage your conscience and professional ethics, then I agree to perhaps enlighten you as much as hopefully you will enlighten me.
Wonderful. Well, from what I have overheard, we can certainly rule out the idea that this was a equal opportunity attack. I couldn't help but overhear that it seemed like the the poor Mrs. Tyree was killed rather directly by the axe wound to the head, but I overheard them speak something on there being defensive wounds around the body, suggesting she was merely a victim here, but no such defensive wounds on the good Mr. Raymond. It would seem that although they may hold the girl for a day or two to see if they can't shake some interesting story out of her, that most likely she's going to be released on lack of evidence supporting the aggravated assault theory of her parents' untimely demise.
Wonderful seeing the legal system in action at a peak efficiency.
Truly. I'll Now I realize my information may be of uncertain or dubious use to you, so I will keep my request short and not too prying, I hope. But may I be so bold as to inquire whereabouts you from heard from in regards to this story and the ongoing investigation? Did you merely wander on in off the streets?
Just to clarify, because he works for the St. Louis Respondent, and that is the paper that delivered the 2 different editions.
He has not said what he works for, I believe.
I know, but she told us that he worked for them.
I
Miss Swan told us that he worked for the Respondent.
I believe so, yes.
All right, so I was just making sure the Respondent was the same paper as the one that had tipped her off.
Mm.
Okay. Well, I'd happened to hear that it was all over the news. I believe the 12 a.m. special talking about the grisly murder and accusations as to Miss Caroline's involvement in it. Well, it certainly is enough to entice and intrigue the enterprising and inquisitive mind.
I see, I see. Go ahead and give me a bluff check.
Okay. Let's see how I do.
I hope
think I've
that
got-
you do well.
I think I've got 2 points in it. Nope, 1 point. Let's go. 19. Fuck yeah.
Ooh, sheesh. All right.
Kind of a waste of a thing to roll that on, but
Well,
of all the things to bluff him about.
we don't know for sure. Let's give it the benefit of the doubt. All right. Okay. All right. He regards you thoughtfully for a moment, and the moment passes, and he nods appreciatively. I see, I see. Well, thank you for your cooperation. I do hope that we can get to the bottom of this. As jointly interested parties in the pursuit of the unhidden truth.
Bringing secrets to light is perhaps a forte that is not simply exclusive to the reporting class.
I see. No, I imagine you would make a fine member of my organization's numbers, Miss Whatley.
That's delicious. You think I would reduce myself to that, but I appreciate the sentiment.
Well, I have places to be and people to meet. I assume you likewise, so I'll bid you a day until our paths cross again.
Until we meet again. And she gives him a
Alright.
big predatory smile.
He returns it.
Ezra hides behind Xenobia.
Just two predatory smiles, and there's this little herbivore trying to hide. Alright. But with that, he does seem to head on off. While this is happening, also, could I get a track and roll from our mystery guest member? Alright.
Boonk. 5.
During this time, you have been slowly getting a little closer, bit by bit, following trails of recently broken tree limbs and stomped underbrush through the woods, and you are within a distance you feel comfortable in the idea that you can see but cannot be seen. At least at the moment. Jumping back, Parrot, you have found the rest of your group together.
Cool beans.
The rest of the group,
Oh, sorry.
Parrot has returned and has in tow the mysterious window jumper. Or, sorry,
Oh,
the
thank goodness you're
mysterious
okay.
child that Ezra threw through a window.
No. Oh, thank God you're okay. we aren't trying to hurt. We're trying to help. I didn't want to. I wanted to make sure no one was in the building.
Oh, you didn't tell me that he was one of them. I don't trust him then.
I can help fix your camera.
Mm-hmm.
Promise.
Curtis Dees looks to Parrot for some sort of a confirmation or rejection of this.
Ezra's good people.
Thank you, Obsidia, for Curtis Dees nuts. All right, if you say so, and he hands over the damaged the damaged camera.
Okay. Let me find my tinkering. There we go. Holy shit, that's a 20.
Yeah,
Jesus.
it's very good that your day job is field testing mad science gizmos, because you quickly realize that this isn't just your run-of-the-mill daguerreotype or still image camera. This is one of those remarkably high-end epitaph cameras that they make.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a very advanced technology for the day and age, known and highly regarded for being able to catch pictures regardless of there being motion. There's no motion blur with these. The image is crystal clear.
Did you get your hands on one of these?
Well, I didn't steal it, if that's what you're asking.
No, I didn't mean to imply. It's just I don't see these every day.
It was, or it is, something loaned to me from my work office.
Okay. So you work for the Epitaph.
No, I just work for. I work for the responder.
The responder.
Not the respondent.
No, actually, it is the respondent. That's on me.
Okay. I was thinking, you said there were so many like newspapers
There
here, so
are
I
a
wanted to make sure.
ton. There's the
Oh.
Inquirer, there's the Respondent, there's the Herald, there's the Gateway. I'm trying to think of a
There's the
good.
Epitaph.
Well, I mean, the Epitaph, it's everywhere. Except, weirdly enough, Tombstone.
Really?
No, it's in Tombstone too. I just thought that would be funny if the Tombstone Epitaph couldn't get published there. Everyone hates it there, you know, they attract all these tourists.
Did you say you work for the respondent?
Yes, I do. I'm only really a printer's apprentice, but I'm
good work.
actively. Well, thank you. But I'm actively working my way up from printer's devil, and I was talking with my superiors, and they said that I would be able to try out using some of the professional equipment they have for the photographers. I prove myself. I earn my worth. I'm not just gonna be taking things willy nilly.
Oh, of course, I didn't mean to imply that.
Right.
Well, I'm assuming then, by your cordial attitude and the fact that you have joined us, that you are aware that we have only your friend's best interest in heart.
Yeah. I. Yeah.
Out of
Eh,
character.
yeah.
Question: was it the respondent that came early?
Yep.
Okay. Curtis, I do wish to ask you a few more questions. And Ezra's not looking up from his work at this point. He's still tinkering and fixing the camera. Uh, do you happen to know about any early editions today?
Well, there's the there's the 12 o'clock.
Earlier.
There's the 12 o'clock. That's as early as we're supposed to publish things.
Supposed to.
Yeah.
He looks up for a second and looks to Zenobia, still screw driving. Screws into place.
Well, we happen to be informed that there was a certain 10 a.m. edition, which I believe was a limited run. Would you happen to know anything about that?
No, there. It's very expensive to print anything without running it as a full edition. It takes a lot of time and a lot of manpower to set everything up and replace it every time. It's very labor intensive. So we
Scrutinize.
okay.
I'm just on a roll today. 15. Fuck yeah.
You lying little piece of shit.
Kid's lying about how the printing press works.
So he's not lying about it being something that takes a lot of time to operate and to set up and reconfigure. He is lying about it not being used for things other than the full editions. But he
Oh, come
doesn't.
now. I imagine there are. I imagine there are some special times when special editions are needed to be printed.
Oh, I, I'm I'm afraid to say that I I think that might have something to do with what happened with Caroline's family.
Oh, we would be very interested. And don't worry, this is a very safe space. We don't have any interest in uh, running you afoul of your organization.
Should I call for a bluff?
I'm not. I don't.
Okay. It's
I'm trying to be nice.
it's hard to
This
tell.
is Xenobia night.
This is like when I did that character voice for someone who constantly phrases something as veiled threats, like, "Oh, yeah, she's real nice. It would be a real shame if something happened to her." No, really, it would be a tragedy to our community if something would have. I don't. Why do you keep staring at me? I told you it would be a real shame.
How tall is he?
Oh God. Let's see, how tall are youths these days?
In the
I
1870s.
yeah. Um
Short.
yeah, I think he's probably 4'13". I said what I said.
All right, so Zenobia just towering over him then.
Oh, that's right. She's like freakishly tall, isn't she?
She's not freakishly tall. She's a very tall woman.
Mm.
She's like 6'3".
Oh God, yeah. All right. Well, uh I don't know nothing about early editions that was printed today, but there might be some records of it uh, within the printer's office. At least if anyone was clocking in or doing something early. At least by the books, you're supposed to make sure you're clocked in so that the pay makes sure that they get enough for everyone who did all their hours and such. But beyond that, I mean, all right. Now you promise you're not gonna get me in trouble with the respondent, right?
No, of course not.
All right.
He's
Well,
even fixing their camera for you.
I guess
He's
that's
looking it over, making sure that it's in fine working order. Checking to see if there's any dents or scrapes at this point.
no, it's in pretty good shape. For a gizmo, it's remarkably stable for the moment anyway.
That's wonderful. With a 20, can I say I made it better than it was? Not
You,
mechanically, just
yeah,
role playing.
you know, like the the aperture I don't know what the actual button is called, but the aperture is just sliding in and out with the camera button like a buttered dream.
Oh, beautiful. I hand it back to him.
Oh, thank you kindly, sir.
Mhm.
Well, I there's there's this there's this story going around. It's it's a scary story that a lot of the other kids I went to school with were telling, and want to contribute to some of it, but I'm apprenticing, so I don't really go to school. I don't spend much time with them no more, and I I printed it out. I printed the story out, and we were intending to spread it around to make it look not like a newspaper, but I used all the heading what proper like, so it looked like some kind of bulletin from the office, and it was the story about the ghost of Molly Crenshaw. And I'm worried that the ghost is what dang got to Caroline's parents.
A ghost.
A
Is that what
ghost.
you meant by getting her involved?
Yeah, she wouldn't be involved in this whole thing if the paper with that darn ghost story weren't circulated by me and got into her hands. The ghost, I I don't want to say her name none, on account I don't want to attract no attention to me, no more attention anywho. But the ghost, I've been hearing from other kids that they've seen the ghost doing things around too. Ever since I started, ever since I after I printed that bulletin, they say that when they bring it home or when they take it around town, that they see stuff happening too that they didn't see before. I can only assume it's on account of the ghost story.
Zenobia, her eyes get 3 sizes too big
Oh
as
no.
she looks down at this, and she is very excited. Please, please, what is the nature of this spirit, and how did you become aware of it? I would love to know all about it.
Is she always like this?
Yes. Often.
She will.
I think she's. I don't want to say she's harmless, but she has yet to harm me directly.
She's gonna crouch down a bit to be like more like eye level with him as she just like stares lasers into him.
He is
She's the
sweating
ghost
buckets.
expert.
Okay.
Not
If
that there
anybody's
couldn't
gonna
be.
know.
As much as you can be an expert on such
Well,
things.
I don't remember all the details myself. I've been trying to purge them from my memories to stay a little safer, but I I shouldn't give you any of the bulletins. That feels too risky neither. Well, from what I remember, Molly Crenshaw was she was a witch, I think, and sometime decades before I was even born, there were villagers in what would become St. Louis that blamed her for a whole heap of trouble with crops and blights and all that, and they done lynched her. And after that, people start seeing her ghost, this this real bitter-looking ghost, some lady down from the islands, and she starts haunting the folks that can hear, that were connected to the folks what killed her. And apparently, even after uh, I, it's unspeakable what they did to those remains, but she still seemed to have a lot of anger left in her.
So
Uh,
what?
yep.
Oh, sorry. You can finish.
Oh, I was going to also say, Tyrus, if you would like, you can try to make either a sneaking roll to get closer or a cognition roll to see how much of this you can hear. Or you can just trust on good faith that these other strangers will be okay sharing information and just ask. But you were saying?
Oh, I was gonna say, um, so if this spirit has been doing this for some time now, what exactly brought her into your reporting?
7's not bad for a search.
Oh, is that your raw cognition or just that one stat?
That was search.
Oh, yeah. Sneak if you want
But
to get closer. Just raw cognition if you want to try and perceive from a distance.
Raw dog it.
okay.
Although I
read
guess it
search
would
is like the
also be
general
one, yeah.
perception skill, but okay.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't realize that it was also a 1d8, so it would basically be the same thing. All right. But yeah, a 7 is pretty good. I'm gonna say you're able to hear most of the details so far, at least enough to get a general idea of what they're talking about. Something about a ghost story being reprinted, the ghost not liking that, something along those lines.
Okay.
What was the question, Xenobia?
Oh, I'd asked him if she's been around for, several decades, presumably. Why and doing mischief? Why did he only start reporting about her recently?
Well, it's just the sort of thing that, you know, it's like a test of courage or a rite of passage. If you're a kid growing up here, you gotta go to a boneyard at least once and try and find Crenshaw's grave. Except
Okay.
I didn't really want to do that. That sounded too spookifying, so I was just helping retell the story instead.
And how many editions did you spread of this story?
Well, I only did a limited run, so I didn't have time. Otherwise, I might have been seen by my my apprenticeship master, and that wouldn't have done me any favors. So I only made about a dozen.
Okay,
And
if I may.
yep.
My character does want to reveal themselves.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Yes.
So what do you do or say?
I want to say something disarming, it's like, don't be alarmed.
Yeah.
The rifle is in Parrot's hands.
Yeah.
The iron
Don't
grip on the
yeah.
bowling ball bag is even more iron.
Zenobia's neck snaps to the side as she stands back up at her full height and puts herself in front of
Oh
the
God,
child.
why does her neck bend like that?
Alex, is
Genetics.
that you? Yeah.
So,
She'll come
what
out
do
with
they
her
see
hands.
approaching with their hands up?
I'll say don't shoot.
And what do
Yeah.
they see?
They see a average height woman wearing I wouldn't say fancy, but like high quality dress and a vest with a like fedora kind of style hat.
No,
Mind
you
you,
can just say
fedora would have been a feminine.
yeah. You can just say fedora. It's a hat of the time period that you would expect to
Technically, the
see a
term
woman
wasn't
wear.
coined yet. Technically
Milady.
speaking, but moving on.
You
She is very
motherfucker.
attractive. Red hair.
All right. Do they see any other notable features, or are those something that she would be concealing at the moment?
Right now, probably, yeah. I'm trying not to alarm people.
Understandable. All right. So, as you were, you can carry on the scene.
Sorry, I'm getting a little word stuck here. Still kind of. Okay. Keep getting going. I don't mean to intrude, but I am. I don't know if this is related to this case, but I am searching for somebody I'm trying to bring to justice.
Where have you been this entire time?
Well,
Have you
dresses
been
have
listening
a
in?
tendency to get snagged on branches. I've been following you since you left the scene of the crime earlier.
Are we that noticeable?
Parrot trains the rifle on like her chest and says, "Keep your fucking distance."
Thank you
You
for the
have
take care of me special.
You have
Yes.
to understand how horrible that sounds.
Oh, I will be right back. So, please, everyone else, also make sure to take this time to get up, stretch.
We're a friendly group, honestly, out of character.
Don't let our very unfriendly appearances
We're down to
Don't just put that in the chat, Tyrus.
All right, as we were.
I was joking. Can I put my hands down for the break?
no.
Jab with gun. No.
Well, you would understand our reticence for a stranger who has seemingly been stalking us and overhearing our conversations to be approached in a particularly friendly disposition. Who are you, and why are you here aside from being some form of law enforcement official or bounty hunter?
Why is there a bounty hunter after you?
I never
Please.
said I was a bounty hunter.
And we never said there was anyone after us. August is also still here.
And I'll just gently reach down to my hat and lift it up and put it back, saying, "I am Mary Stonecroft at your service."
Well, Miss Stonecroft, what exactly brings you in the pursuit of justice that it may cross paths with us?
I had a quick question. When the gun was trained on me, are you actually like jabbing it into me or not?
I think you're
Um,
I thought you said you were keeping distance, but it's up to
No,
you.
I was
Yeah.
saying I was approaching them. I'm not trying to like get up in their face, but like they might be getting in my face.
No, she's
So
just
I'm just
trying to keep you from getting closer to the kid.
Okay.
okay. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Because it was relevant if you were touching me. Okay.
Loot.
Moving on. Not like. Never mind.
Well, you're talking about touching her chest.
At her chest.
Look, I just came
Nice.
from another Deadlands game where my character accidentally got to second base, so yes.
As you were
Right.
wont to do.
Accidentally.
All right.
No, I
Anyways,
actually was accidentally, but that's another
So,
story.
Yeah.
I will, if I may, pointing to my pocket on my vest.
Well, I would advise to be quite careful and methodical as you do that, as my dear Perota has a defensive nature.
Just ever so slowly, I'll reach into my vest pocket and I'll pull out a picture and hold up a slightly beat up picture. It looks like it's been pulled out many times. It's a picture of a looks like a law enforcement gentleman. This was my fiance.
Oh, I'm sorry. And
I
he
understand.
stands up.
Sorry, you finish.
He stands up a bit. Something that the rest of the posse already knows, but like you wouldn't outside of character. He is clearly in at least somewhat mourning attire, not like full mourning, but at the point where he's out and about again.
Okay.
So like he kind of perks up a little bit at that. Not like happy perks up, but like
He
oh.
loves it when other people's fiancés are dead.
Yeah, he fucking loves that shit.
Like, hell yeah, I got a
Gets him
chance.
off. He goes, mine's still alive. Lol.
Debatably,
Anyways,
we don't know yet.
while pursuing a mad scientist, as it were,
Mad.
Xenobia side-eyeing Ezra.
who
I
is
have done
doing
nothing.
extremely unethical experimentations, body theft type stuff.
Resurrection Men.
One of
My dear
those.
Harold here lost his life.
For
And-
shame.
Can we get some F's in chat for Harold?
Yeah, I'm also just gonna.
F in chat.
Yes, a real tragedy. The fate of many significant others seems to be rather bemoaned as of late. How does this, of course, bring you back to us?
I have tracked, or sorry, not tracked. Received information that he may be operating in the area. And
The mad scientist.
yes. So naturally, a murder would be a possible lead. And
I sense nothing new science based about the crime scene.
I heard something about mind control. This would have fit his MO.
Did we say anything about mind control? Out
Ye-
of character?
You didn't. How in detail would you have read through the news story?
But I think we've done it to a fair degree. I also suspected some kind of mind control based on what I learned from necrology.
So yes, there. Well, it wasn't outright stated as such. There was conjecture in the news story based off of the fact that, or rather, the accounts from the survivor of the family that there may that he didn't seem in his right mind, that he seemed uh, controlled or overtly steered and influenced somehow by.
He?
The husband was the one who had the axe.
Oh, okay.
I learned
Now,
that from the waifu.
Now, currently, of course, I can't be sure if there's any involvement, but I had to check it for myself. But upon overhearing this here conversation, speaking of ghosts, this might be attracting the attention of my nemesis.
Ghosts.
They grit their teeth and look away for a moment.
You love to hear about a nemesis. Not enough people, not just an enemy, the kind of person that you keep a picture of in your locket to remind you of how much you hate them.
Do you have a name for the scientist?
I do not.
Okay. I doubt it would be the one I'm here to see. I doubt.
Yes, those
Would be a small
famous
world, I suppose.
mind control submarines.
I mean, that sounds like a conspiracy theory waiting to happen.
Yeah.
B, do you want them to make any kind of checks or anything about this?
I already rolled one in secret, but yeah, if you have any doubts as to the honesty, you can
got
roll
a 4.
scrutinize. Okay.
It felt weird to be the stranger coming out of the woods and like no one seems to be acting sus of me at all. Just like, what's going on here?
So,
Hey, I trained a gun on you.
Yeah. I'm
I
trying to learn what I
screamed.
can about you.
And
So-
I screamed.
Xenobia, you seem to think that, yeah, this Mary lady, she seems to be on the up and up. Pretty straightforward, pretty honest in her dealings thus far. For Ezra and Parrot, a side note, in hindsight, looking at some of the stuff we talked about, Tyrus, it is wild that you don't have any ranks in bluff.
I that's actually a reason for that, and it's because, well, I can't explain right now.
Then don't.
That's
It's
okay.
alright. It'll be a surprise tool to help us later.
You can be an
Exactly.
avid liar without being good at it.
Mm-hmm. So for Ezra and Parrot, you are both fairly confident that Mary is lying about something. You don't think it's to do with her motive to be interested in this case. It feels like none of that ringed false to you.
But something she's telling us is wrong.
Yeah, like you think that she honestly believes that the mad scientist that she says she's after could either have been involved or interested in what was going on today in the little Tyree cabin household, but you you still feel like there's something else that she talked about that she's not being honest about.
I tighten my grip on the bag.
Okay.
Well, you're on a little quest for vengeance. Seemingly understandable, but I'm have to say I would probably require something else to see why this is necessarily going to be more relevant than our current lines of inquiry.
Wait,
Ezra's
so
looking.
are you one of them detectives, like one of them Pinkertons or something? This is Curtis, who, again,
Yeah.
I
Is
cannot
here.
stress enough, is also here.
No, but and they will reach into their pocket again, also slowly, and pull out a damaged Pinkerton badge.
Oh,
Harold was.
oh, I'm so sorry.
Mm.
What a vile organization to associate yourself with.
Still, I mean,
I mean,
maybe it'd be
they weren't all
better
bad.
for Caroline to have, someone who ain't a police officer still looking into her case, like.
I mean, did any of his skills rub off on you?
He showed me how to shoot a gun, if that's what you're asking.
More the investigation side of things. I think we have the gun taken care of at the moment.
I
And he
picked
looks
up
to
a little.
Parrot.
I picked up a little here and there.
How deliciously vague.
Why is everything delicious?
Oh, it's because in the eyes of someone like me, everything is prey. As she looks over at Ezra.
He
I thought you were gonna
shrinks.
say edible.
I also thought she was going to say edible.
He
She does
shrinks.
seem to lick a lot of things, though, so it might be literal.
All right.
Look, I just want to look into this a little further, see if there's any connection, and if not, we can part ways.
Parrot lowers the gun but does not like put it back on her back. And says, I don't think you're giving us the whole story, but I'm pretty sure you're not here to get in our way. So
Well,
keep
Like,
that up.
well, forgive me if a girl has to keep a few secrets.
Ezra's
You-
looking at the bag right now.
We would never keep secrets.
Normally,
Not because of the secrets,
because of
for
the
other reasons.
implication.
Also other things.
None
Mm.
of us would ever keep any kind of secret.
Yeah.
Never.
That's for sure.
Never.
I am torn between what Xenobia would advise versus the fact that obviously you're a guest player and you should be here.
Yeah.
um, but
I think my late husband would want me to agree to have you come with
You hear a cough from the bowling ball bag.
us.
it's like he's still here.
August hastily coughs.
Getting Mystery Men flashback right now.
I made the same joke.
Mm.
Good movie. Good movie.
Yeah.
But all right, since we gotta have you here,
Hey, I mean, if nothing else, Zenobia, you can probably figure that, it wouldn't hurt to have a couple of other people to get in the way of some ne'er-do-wells
yeah,
assaults before you.
yep. Well then, if you wouldn't mind, Miss Stonecroft, the former significant other of a former Pinkerton detective, we were engaging in a bit of conversation with our dear little friend here.
Well, go right ahead. And I will now lower my hands.
Right. As we were saying, Mr. Dees,
These nuts.
These nuts indeed.
Oh, you've heard of my family then. They they're what you call contractors with the Brown Stocking Stadium. If you want boiled nuts anywhere in the premises, you're getting a bag of D's nuts.
Ah,
That's how
Our
he got that
families
camera. He's
our
a nepo
family's
baby.
been making them for over a decade. But I decided no, I don't want none of these nuts. I want to be able to stand on my own.
soon it will be D's papers next to perhaps to wrap D's nuts in.
I guess you could probably do that with newspapers I made. I mean, I would just print them and write in them and probably take pictures for them.
Now, you said you printed 12 editions of your little stories. How many of those did you hand out to people?
Oh, I handed out, I reckon around. I reckon around half of them. I was planning on doing another half later on, but you gotta see what people are interested in if it hits for someone.
Excellent. And so you said you gave one to little Caroline. Has anything befallen the other 5?
Well, I'm not sure. I only I only printed it up a couple days ago, so I haven't checked in with them none. But I ain't heard of nothing else.
Interesting.
Hmm.
And in any of the other incidents with this spirit, has there been similar fates to that of Miss Caroline's family?
Well, not too far back, no. Most of the time, when people talk about her ghost, it's more the kind of indirect way that you can get revenge from beyond the grave, all ghosts like, not really violent, maybe, sure, like you throw things around and push someone down a stairs or something, a ghost like. But I had nothing really as dangerous before.
Interesting. Now, do you happen to know anything else that could be of relevance as we look into this? We, of course, wish to seek a speedy release of your friend as possible, but also, of course, if we can do anything to help bring whatever did this to her family to justice, or its uh, true requiem, if it is, of course, a spirit, we would love anything you could provide to assist us.
Well, let's see. I think that I think that the other ones, uh they might still have theirs. I burnt all the ones that I'd kept after I heard what happened on account of I don't want any ghosts coming after me. But uh, there's a couple other printers Dells that helped me set up the whole thing. They work a little above me, but they're still. I reckon they're still fine guys. There was it was Bennett Douglas and Judd Yoakum. I I ain't seen him in a couple of days though. It's well, in light of this, somewhat worrying.
Interesting. And so, do you have any way to follow up with them and perhaps, stop by their homes or whatever?
Well, uh, I I don't know where they live myself, but I reckon that they probably have that information in in the offices of the respondent. They ought to have to, I imagine.
Yes. Now, would you be able to do a few little favors for us?
Like what?
Well, number one, do you know of a man named Jordan Phillips? Or Reese Phillips, sorry, Reese Phillips.
Uh, eh, roll to see. Reese Phillips. Yeah, the name sounds familiar. He he don't always work with us, but he's one of them freelance types. He's written pieces for us. Always real good about being prompt about things, you know? Gets his work done in time. Pretty much all the time.
Interesting. Well, if you happen to see him stop by uh, your paper at any time and perhaps say anything that might be of interest to these affairs, if you could perhaps relay that to us, it would be invaluable to our investigation. As we know, he is a inquisitive individual, and perhaps he could uh, say something in passing that could lead us to our own conclusions.
All right, yeah. Uh, where would I go to tell someone that?
I'm gonna tell him our uh, coaching house that we're staying at.
All right, yeah. I can make sure that if any stops by, I will. I'll bring him. I'll bring word that I saw him.
Excellent. And then two other little things before we send you back to your place of establishment with your camera, as all kind of gestures vaguely at Ezra and the camera, not really understanding how to phrase it. Um, but number two, if you could perhaps, if you ever cross paths with it, see who happened to print the 10 a.m. edition of the newspaper that was of a severely limited release on the day of the murder would be also incredibly relevant, as we would like to follow up with them about what they happen to discover.
All
Yeah.
right. I, I still, in all honesty, don't know. I don't think there was a 10 a.m. release, but if I
We
find
we
out,
can we can assure you there was.
And if with perhaps is simply an error in printing, having that confirmed for us, I know, would be incredibly important to ensure the continuing quality standard of your particular piece of education.
all right, yeah, I'll definitely make sure to if I find Mr. Phillips or if I find anyone who might have ran that paper, I'll let you know.
Excellent. And just one last little thing. This one should be near and dear to your own heart. If you happen to find more information about your friends who haven't been seen in a few days, and it seems to be something more untoward than simply calling out sick, we would also appreciate that. We would hate to have it have any relationship to what happened to Miss Caroline.
Of course, of course. I don't. Uh, well, I'll look into seeing if I can find from work where thereabouts.
Excellent. Anything else as she looks at her compatriots?
I don't believe so. Just keep yourself safe. Okay.
All right.
And take good care of that. That is top of the line technology.
Of course, of course. All right. Well, with that, I think I'll probably scurry on off.
Scurry, scurry, scurry.
All right.
Watch yourself.
Huh?
Be safe.
He trips. I'm all right.
No.
Ugh.
I'm all right. Camera's fine.
Well, Miss Stonecroft, I believe it's time for you to educate us in your own right about what you know about this so-called nemesis.
He seems a bit insulted at the so-called statement.
You can
She
also
she just speaks like this.
you,
Admittedly,
you can
she just does.
also hear that the police are closing off the area at this point.
Maybe we should head to more private quarters.
Lead the way.
Do you have a place you're staying at while you're in town?
And actually, B.
Mhm.
Lifeline.
Yes.
Have I
Go-
arranged a place to stay? I don't know. I hadn't thought about this.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be fairly easy to do. The all right. There is a place called here we go. Let's go with the Green Lane Inn.
Yeah. I'm staying at the Green Lane Inn.
Oh, wait.
Excellent. Well, perhaps we could meet you there and we could talk in detail about your nemesis and your uh, missing and deceased significant other.
Right.
All right. So, unless there's anything in particular people want to do between here and there, now and then, we could cut ahead if you like.
I think that's a good idea.
Yep.
Sounds fine to me.
All right. So, jumping ahead then to the Green Lane Inn. Where specifically in the inn would you want to do something? To do all of this?
Preferably the room, but not just like the fucking middle of the fucking.
Fair.
Agreed.
Yes, let's let the woman who checked in singularly bring a cadre of people up to her room. That's not suspicious at all.
Yeah.
Are you worried about your reputation?
That was out of character. But yes, the room would probably be the most private area we could manage.
All right. All right. So, heading up there then. Can't tell if the music is coming through at all on stream.
I don't know about that, but I can hear it clearly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, another thing I'll need to experiment with, I suppose. All right. So, carrying on from there, the hotel rooms are nothing in particular to write home about. They're designed to be able to accommodate longer term stays. So, uh, there's a desk, chair, bed, a wash bin, and all of that. And yeah, you head on in. It's not the most comfortable for as many people as you have, but that's not nearly as important, I imagine.
Before I let anyone in, I do want to do a sweep of the room to make sure no one has disturbed anything.
Sure, give me a search roll.
Oof. 4.
As far as you can tell.
Okay, then I will let everyone in.
Alrighty then.
Sorry, I do stand out in a crowd, and I just want to make sure I haven't been tracked back here.
Right. I'm sure that you have plenty of concerns around that. Xenobia kind of eyes the room. Look to see if there's anything incriminating lying about.
There's a suitcase on the bed.
Yeah, I mean, you're welcome for that, to that if you want. Oh, I think it might have finally picked up the music on stream. Lovely.
Oh, lovely.
I hope that is the music anyway. I'm not sure what else it would be. What else it would be.
It's just the gremlins taking apart your stream piece by piece, no big deal. It's just the gremlins taking apart your stream piece by piece, no big deal. It's just the gremlins taking apart.
Now, sorry.
Sorry, that was strange. I started echoing, but yeah, carry on.
So now you were saying about your nemesis, this mind-controlling doctor.
Well, I think the term grave robber is a pretty nasty one. He was known to do experimentations on, taking apart bodies and putting them back together.
Oh,
Have
was he
I
successful?
Have I heard of doctors trying to do this?
You know what? Give me. Yeah, you can give me a. Let's see. Give me a mad science roll using. Well, no. I think this would still fall under general knowledge about it. Like you travel in the circles. I would allow this.
9.
A 9?
Yeah.
All right. On a 9. You have heard of this. Like there's a couple of different scientists or communes even of scientists that are doing interesting things with this. You've heard there is a circle of scientists out in California, out in the maze, that have been doing a lot of interesting things with tissue reanimation and the alteration through biological augmentation.
You know what? I shouldn't have rolled for that because with my backstory, I would have known this.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I'm allowing you to roll to it for
Oh.
it, even though you're kind of a shut-in.
Fucking nerd.
But like beyond that, you've been to the Collegium before, haven't you?
I have not.
Oh, have you had any interaction with that side, with that group?
If they had come out to Hartford, yes, but
All right.
not in person in the maze.
You still probably would have heard at least a little bit, since there's some fairly high renowned scientists and researchers that are a part of that group. I would say that you probably would have heard of. There was a couple of them, something like Nash and Periwinkle, you think?
And Minwa?
Nash and Periwinkle are the names that you recall having something to do with augmenting humans mechanically. So those are like the main flesh workers to give it a less elegant and far more visceral name that you have heard of.
Okay, someone said, really, did this succeed? Who was that? I just want to know if that was in character or not.
Oh, that was Xenobia. She's curious. Oh, did they succeed?
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, Mary will cough and go, I hope not.
Oh, unfortunate. I guess not everyone is gifted.
I have heard some may have seen success, but that's out in the maze. Nothing this close to the East Coast. We aren't even close to the East Coast. What am I saying?
Or like in the Middle East.
Yeah, St. Louis, the Middle East of America. Truly, St. Louis, the Persian Empire of America.
Real Damascus of Middle America.
It's more like Middle Europe.
Oh, God. The great mosques with their magnificent minarets of freaking Nebraska. But yes, that is
what
still
more do you need to
roughly
know about a
half a
scumbag once
country
you...
away.
Yeah. What more do you need to know about a scumbag once they're stealing bodies and killing lawmen?
Ezra straightens his tie. I have connections that might be useful. If it's someone that I have at least shared circles with, I may be able to gain some information.
You suddenly have all of Mary's attention.
I am a product tester for Smith and Robards. I'm actually in the city to validate the claims of another applicant, as it were. If this person has ever submitted anything to Smith and Robards or runs in the same neighborhoods, even of my target. Huh. You know,
Yes.
one new scientist may know another. It might be time I pay him a visit.
Interesting.
You know what kind of projects this fella or lady is working on?
Some underwater vehicle. We have seen a dime a dozen of these, and they all never hold up under the pressure, both literally and figuratively.
I was about to
It-
say, I see what you did there.
yeah.
That's historically true, too. At this point in American history, submarines were interesting, but kind of old.
No one is doing anything fancy with them, or that would be of Smith and Robards' qualifications. Not to sound high and mighty. I'm sorry.
Well, if they've been in town longer than you,
They have.
they might be useful.
Exactly. That is a possibility, though we were planning on touching base with him once we figured out more about this case. However, if you believe that they might be crossing, that might mean that I need to pull a few strings on my end.
Can we go back a moment to what is the name of your inquiry?
She said she didn't have a name.
Just a
I
nose
asked earlier.
Zemo. Okay, just nose Zemo.
If you're talking about the as we're calling them,
Scientist.
nemesis, yeah,
Yeah.
I do not have a name yet.
I asked that earlier.
Yeah. You seem to be at least intimately acquainted with his modus operandi if you are not certain about the man. Could you educate us, enlighten us about your familiarity?
They pace around the room, face a wall, shudder, and go, I'd rather not talk about it.
Well, I assure you, Miss Stonecroft, it's incredibly relevant to this conversation if you wish to pool our resources.
Can I make a scrutinize with a specific purpose?
What is the purpose?
I want to see if I think the mad scientist used his body. And that's how she knows.
Whose
That's a
body?
4.
The
The
agents?
significant others, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the significant others. That's a 4. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on.
Really dedicated to this bit. All right.
I'm gonna roll one more d8.
Okay. If you want to spend your fate chips on this, I am more than happy to let you.
On this PvP.
That is a 1.
I am going to spend
Well, hold
a
on.
red chip.
Is that
That's not a botch.
okay?
I checked.
All right. Carry on.
I'm going
Right.
to add to my 4.
I think I remember reading something about spending chips doesn't cause botches or something. But I've only perused the rules a little bit.
Alright, that's going to be a total of 10.
All right. Let me make a fun little secret roll.
One of those surprise tools we were talking about.
Secret roll. Secret roll.
You get a strong gut feeling in this moment, Ezra, that this is far... it's even more personal than this nemesis killed someone that I care for. Something more intimate and personal than that. And
well, that wasn't just that, but using the body as part of it. That's more intimate.
I
and
was
personal.
getting to that. Yes, that you believe that the body was used as materials.
He brings a hand to his mouth. Xenobia, no.
Excuse me?
No. And he gives her a look, and then looks at his bag, and then looks at her.
Can I get a cognition roll from everyone?
20.
Damn.
High rollers tonight.
Brain
Mhm.
blast.
4.
We're here to flex on bitches.
Oh, I need to roll too. Shit.
That's true.
I'm not cognizant of anything.
Also
ever.
4. A very alert party, but a very uneven distribution of that alertness.
Now, was I supposed to make that roll too?
Oh yes, this
Okay,
isn't for anything that you're up
Yeah,
to.
just straight cognition, you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. So Xenobia,
Curse you backstory.
in this moment of relative quiet where Mary has stopped talking about it, where your companions are being quiet, you hear a loud cry and then what sounds like someone or something heavy falling downstairs.
That's weird. I'm going to check that out.
Does
So-
everyone hear that, or just Xenobia?
Well, Zenobia is the only one that rolled
Well,
that rolled a
any fool
5
can
or
hear-
higher.
Okay, 5 or higher. I was going to say any fool can hear something falling down the stairs.
Yeah. Xenobia, she's about to say something, barbing and sarcastic about, attachments to significant others when pursued your inquiries. She immediately stops and just springs into action as she has to find out what's about to happen. She is curious after all.
So you just make a
Xenobia.
run for the door and
Yep. Parrot's just following Xenobia.
Just like a fucking, sprinter all of a sudden, as Xenobia bolts to the door, throwing it open overly hard because she can't gauge her own strength.
So, there is a little hallway, and then down at the end of the hallway, you can see it's sort of like stairs that go up to another level. That sort of setup. And you can see that there's a woman dressed in work clothes, someone who works in the premises, kind of work clothes. And she had what looked to have been a hamper of dirty linens that were being collected. And she had fallen back down the stairs in shock at something. And that's all you see from this angle.
Can I, look? Investigate further?
Absolutely.
Ezra is going to go to the woman.
Alright.
just gonna draw my knuckle duster.
Okay.
Just everyone suddenly on, something's going on.
Alright. So, inside of the room, you can see that there is what looks to be a botched act of violence. There's a person, a young man, from the looks of it, who is lying face down on the floor, and there is a knotted bedsheet run around his neck, with the other side hung over one of the beams in the ceiling. Judging by a nearby chair and the very uncomfortable angle in his neck, you believe perhaps this was a suicide.
So he's quite clearly dead.
Ah, shoot. Can I be heard?
Can you be heard?
Okay, good.
Yes, you can be
Yeah.
heard.
No, my headphones just gave me a weird noise. It looks like they're dying.
Uh-oh.
There we go. I'm plugged in.
Okay.
Sorry. Carry on.
I'm gonna go walk up to him and see if he's got like any ID or anything. Like, not an ID, but something to identify him on him.
Let's see. Give me a search roll.
Okay. A 3.
You briefly pad him over, but you keep getting distracted because of the house cleaners just incoherent sobs of distress.
It's okay. Deep breaths. Deep breaths.
Is the housekeeper looking at the body right now?
The door is still open. I don't think that from her position fallen on the ground at the bottom of the little flight of stairs up here, she would be able to see.
I will shout for I'll shout for for Ezra. Little guinea pig, perhaps you should take the woman a bit aside from this disaster. I'm going to check if he's somehow still alive.
Right. Ma'am. Deep breaths. Let's go sit for a moment.
All right.
Okay.
All
I'm gonna
right.
start checking the room, making sure there's no one hiding, like under the bed or something weird.
Sure, give me a search roll. That is a botch.
Oh.
Oof.
Baby's
Yep.
first botch.
So, for those of you who are newer, a botch means that you got more failures than anything, than any successes, and rather you had no successes. And it is essentially the worst possible outcome of a given circumstance. So let's see, what would be the worst possible outcome here? You think you have done a pretty thorough job, and you feel confident that there's definitely no potential clues that you have missed here.
Okay. I'll also want to check the windows.
Okay.
Just for like a sign of being broken and entered, or a broken lock on the window
okay.
or something like that.
All right. The windows are unlatched, so they could be opened for ventilation. They feel a little too... They feel a little too stiff to have been used very often, I suppose. That makes sense. And just opening it a crack to look down, you don't see any easy way that someone could climb up here without either a ladder or having something like a rope lowered down from the window?
Okay.
I'm gonna try a necrology.
Sure.
Try and do some little spooky. I am debating. I'm gonna toss a red chip to boost that.
Alright.
There we go. That's a 17.
Alright.
So that is 3. That's a success and 2 raises. So yeah,
Alright. How many questions does that give you?
that gives me 3 questions.
Alright.
So the first thing I am going to ask is what killed the body?
So you kneel down and gently touch at the corpse, and in your eyes you see the neck of the corpse with a grisly noise snap 90 degrees up, given its broken flexibility. And the face of a young man stares blankly at you. I don't know. I was just getting the mail. And something attacked me.
Now, is this something only Xenobia can hear?
Yes.
Okay.
To the other people, Zenobia has touched the body, and you can hear her asking things. You don't hear any responses or see any movement on the corpse.
Okay. Just wanted to clear that.
Mhm.
Do I know what they're doing?
Uh, you mean what she's doing?
Yeah.
Give me an academia occult roll.
Botch!
When it rains, it pours.
I'm trying to help this guy. I'm trying to see if he's still alive.
I mean, it could very well be like, to your knowledge, for all you know, she could actually have some kind of medical training and is just checking to see if there's any signs of life, really.
All right. Now confident there's no clues, and what I now was assuming is that some kind of doctor is examining the victim. I'll go back into the hallway.
Okay.
As he doesn't know what killed him, but he was getting the mail when something attacked him, is the neck snapping his actual cause of death.
I think so.
Thanks, bro.
There was a lot of struggling.
He's not a doctor either.
It was like I was trying to wrestle something, but whenever I struggled, it pushed back just as strong as I was.
Okay. My second question is, How long has the body been dead? To the nearest corpses, to the nearest hour for corpses dead less than a week, or day for older ones.
I just picked up the mail. Not 30 minutes ago.
Okay.
I hope you're
And-
keeping notes too.
Yep, I always do.
Excellent.
Just so I can call you out.
Good. I need that because I never keep good enough notes for myself.
This is a tough call between which one to pick for my last question.
Didn't you get any extra for the raise?
I did. You get 3 questions. You get 1 for every raise you get.
Oh, I see.
That's the downside.
Mm.
Okay, so then I'm gonna ask then, what is the full name of the body, including any aliases or nicknames?
Alright. My name was Owen Welland. And the head thuds back down 90 degrees back to 0.
Xenobia will step away from the corpse, look over at Parrot first and be like, did you see anything in this room?
I was just guarding the door. I can look.
Excellent. I would appreciate a second set of eyes. And then she looks over at Mary. Did you happen to find anything in here of interest?
Look around the room again. No.
I mean, there's nothing here that suggested this was someone connected to your nemesis. So, I guess in some ways, no, there wasn't anything worth notice. Alright. So, from there... From there... Can I take a look for myself? Alright, yes. Okay, so from Mary's perspective here, there was no way someone could have gotten in from the outside. Well, actually, that's what Mary was able to figure out. Before I do the results of the search roll, let's briefly touch in with Ezra. And you were talking with the housing staff.
Yeah. Deep breaths. Deep breaths.
All right.
Are you okay?
I don't know how okay I can be.
You fell down the stairs.
I was sort of in shock.
Yes.
I barely even felt anything.
At this point, Ezra doesn't even know about the body. I'm going to say that, since we found her at the bottom of the stairs.
All right.
What happened?
Well, I already lost the names.
Owen Welland.
Thank you. Well, I I'm in charge of delivering things to the rooms and taking things down. I usually go through the rooms to see if anyone needs clean linens around this time. I'd just brung up the mail. Mr. Welland had some to collect. I delivered that and went about my day, and oh god, it wasn't even an hour later that I came by for the sheets and found him like that.
Deep breath. It's okay. You're safe right now. I know better. Out of character, I know better than to ask, like what? But that is on his mind.
How neurodivergent do you want to be playing Ezra here? Do you think that he would pick up on the implication like dead?
Considering he picked up on the implication that, like being used in horrific experiments against God's creation, I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
I'm going to go check on the scene. Okay, will you be okay here for a moment?
I think so.
All right. Just keep breathing deeply, okay? All right, and he'll make his way up the stairs.
Oh god, there's a
Wait.
body in there.
Ah.
You fall down the stair.
No. Thankfully your fall is broken by some woman.
Some woman and a lot of sheets.
Hey, y'all should be thankful for her priming you for this. Otherwise, I would have had to make you do some fear checks seeing a dead body like that.
I've seen plenty of dead bodies at this point.
Yeah.
At least he isn't fucking meat.
That's true. All right.
Ezra sighs. Well,
I have a few questions for the housekeeper, if I may.
she's still shaken, so be gentle.
I've been told to have a soothing voice.
It's almost like you took that as one of your perks.
That's a weird way to word it, but
I
okay,
know.
I guess.
I'm tired. Let me have word problems. I was in pain for 4 hours straight today.
Oh,
Let them cook.
all right. All right. How do you want to investigate the scene up here, by the way, Ezra?
I'm going to cognate just around the room to start.
So are you searching, or?
Yeah, let's search.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's see what that is.
Oh,
7.
Not bad. Alright. So I think I know at least some of the things that Parrot and Ezra found up there. So I want to save that for just a bit here. And
Okay.
what would you like to ask of the staff member here?
So, I'll it's like, okay, seem to be anyone in the room. You're safe. I just have a few questions for you, if I may.
Mm-hmm.
You try to keep tabs of coming and going?
I mean, it's something of my job, I suppose. I'm not uh, I'm not to intrude on guests without permission for my work, so I try to make sure that I'm not interrupting anyone in a room to go in for the linens.
You know if the gentleman up there had any guests?
Uh, no, I don't believe I don't believe that Mr. Welland had even been in town particularly long.
So he was new in town?
At the very least, he was new here.
And you haven't seen anyone suspicious coming up the hallway?
No,
Asking for him or anything?
no, I, I did my rounds delivering mail and such, but I didn't see anyone. At least not when I knocked on his door to deliver his mail.
He was alone when you delivered the mail.
Yes.
Is there anyone else I could talk to who might have seen someone?
I I suppose you. I don't know if there was anyone up here. I didn't see anyone come up the stairs. At least not since your party arrived.
Is there any other exits up the stairs?
Oh, there's just the one, really.
All right, thank you for all your help. We just want to make sure everyone's going to be safe. Okay?
Okay.
If you think of anything, I will be staying in, and I'll say my room number.
All right.
I'll thank her and like you did good.
All right. All right.
And then I'll head back upstairs to see what if they've found out anything else.
All right. So. All right. So, going back to the room, I think on a 6 and a 7, you find well, you find a couple of things, I suppose. You find the paper, certainly. The papers, rather. There were a couple of things in the mail. There was a afternoon print of the paper. In this case, it is the respondent.
Okay.
There was a it was looked to just be a catalog of some sort, just some sort of business mail. It doesn't immediately mean anything to you.
Okay.
And there was something that you caught a little bit of it, and it looked very faintly like it had the respondent's header, but not like normal text you would see beneath that. It lay a very faded ink at the top on the header, and nothing of real detail beneath that either. You also notice that it's a little odd. It looks like there's a bit of torn sheet from the length that's wrapped around his throat. And examining the site that it would have had to have been that he tried to hang, it looks like the sheet tore there and someone or something more manually finished the job.
He did not hang himself. I do say that out loud. I wonder if today's newspaper could have had any... Parrot?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I feel like we got a lot of clues, and not a lot of yarn to put those clues together on the murder board.
That is true. That is true.
Well, the only thing I can put together is it doesn't seem like they could have gotten out the window, and the housekeeper there didn't see anyone coming or going. There's only one way in and out.
He was attacked trying to get the mail.
It looks like he did get some of it.
Well, or it was planted here after he was killed. I was able to deduce that about 30 minutes ago he had gone to get the mail when he was attacked, and it all went dark from there, and this body was planted here.
Planted.
Maybe we should check the mailroom?
Oh, there isn't really a mailroom.
Oh.
It's not that big of an inn.
Yeah,
And where would he have gotten the mail?
the housekeeper said
From
she
the
delivered it.
housekeeper.
Okay, sorry.
Like, I might have been a bit misleading with the wording, just for clarity. Went to get the mail, in this case, doesn't necessarily mean left the room.
Okay.
Because, you know, she comes and she delivers it. She doesn't, like... She's not supposed to go in there when there are people in the room.
So someone pretended to be the housekeeper, likely.
Maybe.
Very likely.
Someone should pick up those sheets.
But she...
The sheets that she dropped before someone else falls down the stairs.
Oh, please. There's a literal housekeeper for doing that. I'm sure she'll
Yes,
recover
and
quickly.
And she's currently hyperventilating.
Sounds like it's definitely going to reflect poorly then on her employment records.
Oh my gosh.
Out of character. You're fired. That's the 5th body this week.
Hmm.
Did you find anything useful?
Not. We did find another. I might have missed some of it. I feel like I might have spaced without intentionally spacing when you gave us all the information. I'm sorry.
Mood.
We found more business mail, another copy of today's paper, but nothing like the early edition or that story. Am I missing anything important?
There was the one like faded.
Yeah. I'll show them that.
Is there
Okay.
anything useful about it that we see that Ezra didn't?
Let's see. I think that you know what? Give me a like it's weird. I want to ask for a scrutinized roll, but that doesn't make sense because it's an inanimate object.
Okay.
Cognition, then. Just straight cognition.
All right.
You can scrutinize things.
On a straight cognition, I got a 6.
Whoo!
Parrot with the 23.
Damn.
Sheesh.
Game
Don't
Did I
know how I
just-
beat that.
Should I just
still
stop
don't
rolling cognition
fucking-
rolls?
I don't know how this game works. I got a 23 on a D8.
When the D8 rolls a maximum, it
Yeah.
explodes, and you roll another D8, and it just keeps going until it
Yep.
stops.
I know. I'm just...
All you do is win. That's how.
yeah, I guess.
Fireblood winning. Yeah.
I
I'll
see
take a
every
7.
molecule in this thing.
You can faintly make out. You can faintly make out some of the printed ink. Like it's very hard to read, so you're not able to see a ton of it, but you distinctly make out enough to be able to read something about a Molly Crenshaw.
Oh
the
shit, it's
body.
one of his magazines. Or one of the, like, 12, or I guess 6 printed copies he had.
Oh.
How did that get here?
Shrugs. I'm just the narrator, man. I don't know. That's wild.
Well, he did give away 5, so unless one of the people he gave it away to was this gentleman, it would mean he gave it to somebody who eventually got it and planted it here today.
Maybe a parent of one of the kids?
Why would he be here?
The housekeeper said they were new in town. That doesn't track.
Well, then I would reiterate I believe that whoever our dear Curtis handed it to eventually either lost it or is in fact perhaps privy to our particular band of murder. He only handed out 6. It should be fairly easy to deduce.
as soon as we figure out who the other 4 were.
I
Or
was
5.
asked, Curtis.
I
Yeah.
have to ask something.
Mm-hmm.
This is not in character. This
Okay.
in-game information. Had I seen that housekeeper before?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
That is God, this generator, it's using historical sources for its database, but still, I feel like the name Evelyn Mayo is a wild pull. But yes, that's Evelyn Mayo. She, as long as you've been staying here, at least you recognized her as, yeah, she works here. That's her
Okay.
deal.
All right. I just had an errant thought of that. Wait, we didn't make sure it wasn't the housekeeper. But if I'd seen her before, then that would eliminate her.
It would
Okay,
also
continue.
probably not be a great idea for the housekeeper to murder the guy and then be like, "Ha! Bring attention to this murdered guy."
I don't know. Like with true crime, that is a strategy
Oh,
people use.
Look, we can talk strategy
Never
all.
self-report.
God damn it, I was trying to head it off before we got to an Amogus joke.
I couldn't help
no.
myself. It's so easy.
Okay. Just to head off anything else, no, she is of no relation to the Rockefeller mayonnaises.
What about, was it the God, who does is it Heinz who does like the big mayo?
Oh, you mean Hinesville, Louisiana?
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, yeah, they do have some history. No. It's just a very unfortunate name.
Well, it is one of the counties of Ireland, which is probably the real reason.
Well, there's also like the Mayo Clinic, which was founded by Dr. Mayo.
No relation.
Big fan of eggs.
Gotta love that oil, too. Alright.
Anywho.
Are there is there anyone else like on this floor, I guess?
At this point... Oh, at this point, it's only really early afternoon, so most of the people that have any kind of stay here seem to be out and about.
Gotcha.
That's generally, I think, why they use this time to be like, all right, let me just go around, change the sheets, slide mail under doors unless someone's there.
Now I shouldn't have had any mail, right?
Let me... There is a letter from a Merrill.
Right, of course.
It's Merrill Lynch inquiring about your investments.
If
Alright.
the newspaper there was brought with the mail. I don't know. I thought it was going anywhere for me, but it's a thought. Much like me.
All right, so we've got a room that doesn't look like anybody entered. He got his mail, which includes the Mary Crenshaw sus
Molly
newsletter.
Crenshaw.
Molly Crenshaw sus newsletter in it.
By the way,
Um,
are y'all keeping any of the things you found in there, mail included?
I say we'd probably take the flyer, the Molly Crenshaw thing. I don't need to steal his mail.
It's fine if we get attacked by a ghost. Who cares?
Yeah, I don't give a shit. I'll square up with that
you
ghost.
gotta double check, make sure they didn't get any banknotes or anything. You know, no, I'm just kidding. No, not that type. This time.
Of course not.
But yeah, so he had one of those. And then, assuming Curtis was telling the truth, only 6 of those exist. One of them was in Caroline's possession. It might still be at the house, or the police might have it for whatever reason. So theoretically, that version is also unaccounted for, assuming that this person was not one of the 6 people he sold one to. But
When did he print these again?
I believe that he said this was. God, I think I said a couple of days ago.
And
possibly.
this guy just got into town.
Well, just got into town is a very,
Yeah.
very relative term.
Yeah,
We should probably check exactly when he checked into the room.
Yeah.
Have to check with them downstairs. Times like this, I wish I had a badge.
Unless any of them happen to be union members, I somehow doubt your Pinkerton badge will be of particular use.
You'd be surprised how many people will trust a badge. Any badge.
Fools, one and all.
Can't disagree with you.
Okay. All right. So what's your next plan of action? And who's holding on to the letter? Or the bulletin?
Yeah, I'll take it for spooky purposes.
Okay. Fun.
The ghost is gonna jump anybody. It should be me.
All right. Bet.
As a fellow witch, I can appreciate it. Although I prefer the term sorceress.
All right.
But yeah, so I'll keep the newsletter. I guess looking at the body, I'm like, well, does this bear any resemblance to your MO? To Mary.
Well, do we know what this guy did for a living?
No, not yet at least.
What kind of mail did we have again?
There was a catalog of some sort. It looks to be like a trade catalog.
What trade?
Let's see. It looks to be a telegraph trade catalog.
No, that doesn't add up. Whoop. There goes Epitome.
Oh no, Molly.
And they're back. Yay!
Oh, okay.
You missed it. We got the perp.
All within the last 3 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
We're that
Anyways,
good.
Is this guy armed?
Nope. I mean, he has arms, but he does not have guns. As far as
I should have specified an iron.
There we go. Now my mic's working.
Mm-hmm.
Yay. Okay. Well, they
You're
are
chewing
not a
loudly,
beautiful
by the
woman.
way, Epitome.
God damn it, that's why I wasn't activating.
Yeah. Well,
I was
This-
wondering why it wasn't activating this entire time. While I was chewing. Found out why.
All right.
As I was saying. Well, they're not a beautiful woman, and their brain appears to be intact. I'm assuming there's no giant hole in the skull or anything.
You'd be correct.
I feel like that would detail that would have stood out. And they don't appear to be anything that would be have a useful skill set for them anyways. And they left the body, so unless the person they attacked them, for whatever reason, was also under hypnosis of some kind, or whatever mind control technique he uses, I got nothing.
Okay.
But we do know, pointing at the flyer, this is connected to the other case.
Correct. So it's Miss Crenshaw is either a very consistent spirit, or your particular nemesis is trying to conflate the two and perhaps create confusion.
The thought of a deception had occurred to me.
That's certainly a possibility. Many things are.
As I think it was Hemlock said, for the character name, I already forgot.
Parrot.
Parrot, yes. Said, lots of things on the wall, very little string.
Mm-hmm. Well, so far, the common points of interest you have, I would say, are the bulletins, the printing, the company where they were printed, the St. Louis Respondent, and the legend of, I don't think you
Molly
have-
Crenshaw.
I don't think you would have any idea knowing how historically verifiable it is, but yes, that would be the third thing you have right now. There's still, you could potentially try to interview Caroline herself. You could try to go to any number of the locations. You could see if you can find any information about Miss Crenshaw. You've got some options.
Well, it is 9 o'clock. With that in mind, I do recall that we were going to be given an audience with Caroline once we reported back to Miss Swan that there's more to this than meets the eye. She said she would be able to arrange it. So
I forgot I was muted again.
my mic isn't working. Oh wait, I muted myself.
To be fair, the first time I didn't mute myself, I was actually broken.
So it it's basically, do you guys think we should go follow up with some more of these leads first, or should we circle back to Miss Swan first?
I think the leads first, personally.
Okay.
That way we can bring back more to her.
Mhm. Okay.
Alright.
Definitely want to note the name of this feller.
Owen Weller. Oh, Welland.
And that
Mhm.
wasn't one of the names.
No, that was
Uh,
not Judd Yoakum or Bennett Douglas.
Okay, I was trying to remember the
Fucking
names.
Yoakum.
Fucking random name generators.
Look, historic names were fucked up. People used to be named things like Eustace.
You know the brand Tiffany?
Mhm.
That's the last name of the guy who founded the company.
Oh, Louis
I
Tiffany.
believe that.
Yep.
Neat.
Alright.
The more you know.
But yeah, so I was saying I think this is probably time to end for tonight. We could
Yeah.
devise where we wish to embark on next.
I think that would probably be a good idea. That's a good point to end off on.
Mhm.
So next time, now that you have some clues and also bodies have slowly started to pile up, which is alarming. That's 3 bodies so far today that seem to have some kind of connection.
That's 2 less than average.
Fair, fair. Then, yes. What? I think it would be a good idea to figure out, just in brief, what you would want to hit next.
I think it would probably be asking for more information about Mr. Welland, or probably follow up with Curtis at this point.
I mean, if we could find out if Curtis knew this person or could recognize them.
Yeah. That's why I meant follow up with him, is basically be like, hey, so did you sell a paper to this guy?
Sure, I hope so. Or we will make this child think that he is responsible for another death.
It happens to the best of us. First time.
All right, so you gather your things and leave to try and find this this next link of clues in your investigation. And where we'll leave off tonight is we see, from the camera's point of view, as you are heading out of the Green Lane Inn, as the door closes behind, the camera lingers inside, and we can see that there is someone sat at one of the dining tables in a room adjacent to the entryway, the lobby, as it were, who is reading a newspaper and just lowers that down, folds it neatly, and looks up with a smile. Is the incorrigible Mr. Phillips.
Heck,
And
that
we'll end there.
bastardo. What a dick.
What a dick!
What a dick.
So, with that said, we'll wrap here and hope to continue in 2 weeks' time. We'll see how successful we are, but we'll give it our honest try, cowpokes.
We will try.
So, with all of that, I'm so sorry, J. Deggy. I'm so sorry that you come back just in time for us to end. But thank you all very much. I'm going to go through the cast listing again real quick now that we're wrapping up. So, before I get to our general cast members, let's start this time with our guest player. Anything you want to plug or talk about?
Well, I have formerly been a VTuber, but I've been on hiatus for like over a year.
Yeah, that's pretty normal.
Hoping to
at this
change
point.
that soon, but you know, typical autistic inertia, anxiety.
Who are you? Say your name.
TirusR.
Yes.
The end.
Okay.
I don't have anything else to say. Sorry.
And where can they find you if they're looking to see you?
It's TirusR on Twitch, exactly as my name appears in the chat. And I have a Twitter. I barely post anything on it. Like I said, I've been on hiatus for like a year.
Probably fairly healthy, honestly.
I mean, I mean, you look at what happened to Twitter in the last 2 years. I mean,
Like I said. All right.
Okay.
And then Obsidia.
I'm Obsidia. I'm not streaming right now for the rest of the month of March. I'm a pretty cool bean.
That's
The
true.
end.
That's very true.
It is very true. Xenobia will be having a donathon for Trans Lifeline at the end of the month, however, so keep an eye
Yes.
out for that.
Yes.
That's the 31st, I believe, right?
Yep, March 31st for Trans Day of Visibility.
Nice, nice. Do you know what you're doing yet for it?
I've got some stuff set up for it.
Oh,
We're gonna be
alright.
trying out snacks from my childhood I haven't had in
Oh
20 years.
no.
Oh, that sounds delightful.
Oh,
I've got four. I have
It-
4 snacks currently purchased for it.
I
Uh,
find
and there's gonna be
childhood sex
karaoke.
comes in one of two varieties: sweet nostalgia and bitter disappointment.
yeah.
Either way. So yeah, there's gonna be karaoke, and I think maybe I had another thing set up for it, like might be King of the Castle or something. I don't know. We'll see.
If you
It'll
need
be
any
fun.
help prepping, B and I can help.
Thank you.
All right. And then we have Hemlock.
Hello, I am Hemlock. You can find me at Hemlock on most places. That's misspelled with an E at the end. I've been trying to up my streaming to 2 times a week from once a week, and it's not going super well, but we'll see about April. And my birthday's March 30th if you feel like taking a look at my throne.
Mm. Honestly, yeah. It's important. Make sure you do that. Hemlock deserves it.
Hemlock does deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I deserve, but I want it.
Whatever the it is, you deserve it.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it.
And then Epitome.
Hi, I'm Epitome. I don't stream, so you can't really find me anywhere. And if you find me, that's usually I'm here to give you reminders of important things for your health, such as flu shots. However, right now it's kind of late for a flu shot, by which I mean to the point where I'm not going to bug you about it anymore. If you haven't gotten it yet, you're a lost cause. I don't want to say I hope you get the flu, but I'm not sure what else to say other than Hem gave me a good idea because my birthday's on the 28th. And if you think I deserve something special, check out B's Throne.
It's
Fucking
true.
birthday buddies?
He has been using it as his own throne for several things as well.
But yeah, I didn't realize our birthdays were that close to each other.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it's a funny thing with me and Gairu's friend group.
Mm.
There's 3 people that all, including me, that have the same birthday.
Oh, that's convenient.
Excuse me.
Yeah, but then we got to compete for everyone's birthday money, so you know it's a little bloodthirsty.
Oh well. And
There should be a birthday games just to like see who's the best at having birthday.
Oh, I'd lose then. I never have birthdays. I just have pizza.
Pizza's good. All right, go ahead, B. Sorry.
And then I am also here. You found my channel. You've solved my content channel publishing riddle. Yeah, I'm here. I do variety streams. I try to focus on roguelikes, digital artwork, and RPGs. I'm really hoping for being able to start more of the tabletop campaigns I've got in the old brain tank because they're not paying any rent. It's frankly a huge pain in my ass. So
Fun fact: one of them already has a theme song.
that's true. That's true. Anywho, yeah, you can find me also over. No, come on. There we go. Over there, I've got the card. That's basically all of my stuff. I'm currently in the process of revising my TOS as well for the fair warning. But if you want to commission me, that's where you'll be able to. Then there's the Discord. I'm always on there. If you want to hang out, get to know me, or any of the amazing people that are a part of this community, please feel free to join in. I'd love to have you. Then there's Twitter. It's a mess, but I post artwork. Sometimes when I feel like it, I post my schedule when I have one. Other things too, and it's a blog. The blogs have been older than the internet. I don't know what to tell you at this point if you don't know what those are. And then YouTube, where I put my VODs when I remember, hey, I should really put my VODs somewhere. We are now up to date again, I believe, on backlog episodes, except for today's, of Deadlands, so you can catch up, except for the episode that did get completely eaten by computer gremlins. That one is lost forever, unfortunately, but all the other ones you can catch up on.
Banished.
You can also
The
catch
lost
up,
media bin.
finally, it took ages to figure out how to fix this, so you can also catch up on Gabbin' with Goblins, the first episode in the series of interviews that my alter ego Griselda has been doing on the channel too. But yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure that you are being rootin', tootin'. By God, you best be shootin', and most of all, being kind. And until I see you all again, happy trails.